What would you do if God asked you to give up the one thing you prayed for your entire life? Not just give it up, but place it on an altar yourself. This is not just a story about obedience. It's about heartbreak, trust, and a love so deep it defies logic. This is the moment Abraham is tested in the most unimaginable way. Abraham's life was marked by a promise. God told him he would be the father of many nations. But years passed, no child. The world around him whispered, "It's too late." But then, the impossible happened. In his old age, his wife Sarah gave birth to Isaac, his miracle child. Joy returned to their home. Laughter filled the tent. The promise had a name now, and it was Isaac. Then came the command. One morning God spoke, clear, unmistakable. "Take your son, your only son whom you love, and offer him to me as a sacrifice." Abraham didn't question, he didn't resist. But can you imagine the storm inside him? The son he waited decades for, now to be laid on an altar. He rose early the next morning, not out of eagerness but obedience. He chopped the wood, saddled the donkey, and quietly, they left. 3 days they walked, 3 days of silence, 3 days of carrying a weight heavier than wood. Each step must have screamed, "Turn back!" But Abraham pressed on, because sometimes faith isn't loud, it's steady, quiet, unseen. When they reached the mountain, Abraham turned to the servants and said, "Stay here. We will go worship, and we will come back to you." Did you catch that? We will come back. A whisper of hope, or an act of complete trust? "Father, we have the wood and the fire, but where is the lamb for the offering?" Abraham's heart must have cracked, but his voice is calm. God will provide. It's easy to say those words when everything is going well, but Abraham said them walking toward surrender. At the summit, Abraham builds the altar, stone by stone, wood arranged carefully, a sacred space, and a trembling heart. Then he binds Isaac, the son he cradled, the boy whose laugh filled his soul, the promise in the flesh. He lays him on the altar, raises the knife, and in that moment, the heavens hold their breath. And then a voice shouts from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham!" He stops, frozen. "Do not harm the boy. Now I know you fear God. You have not withheld even your son from me." In the thicket nearby, a ram is caught. God had already provided a sacrifice of worship. He names the place Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide. And God speaks again, reaffirming his promise. "Because you have obeyed, on your descendants will be as countless as the stars in the sky." It's about clarity. Abraham's faith wasn't proven in his words, but in his willingness to trust. And Isaac, he was never meant to die, but something had to. Fear, doubt, the idea that God can't be trusted with what we love most. And in place of Isaac, God provided a picture of another son, another father, another altar on a hill called Calvary. What altar is God calling you to build? Surrender isn't about loss, it's about trust. And when we lay down what we love, we discover that God's plan was always better.